Gifty Jibinfofie is my name. My topic for this presentation will be on brain and nervous system by using Claire Wherry case study as my reference point. The major structures and functions of the brain. There are three structures of the brain. 1. Cerebral. 2. Cerebellum. 3. Brain stem. Cerebrum is the larger part of the brain which composed of right and left hemisphere that they perform high functions like interpreting, teaching, thoughts, vision, and hearing as well as speeches. Cerebellum is also the smaller part of the brain which controls human movements and balance. The cerebellum, as its smallest, it helps to process a memory sensory system to give proper functioning, whether voluntary or involuntary. Brain stem is also a part which can located under the brain, which have connection with the spinal cord. The spinal cord also have connection with the central nervous system and other two branches of autonomic system. They all work together to perform a perfect task assigned to the brain. Central nervous system. Central nervous system composed of the brain and the spinal cord. They controls the brain of the function of the body, including awareness, movement, thinking, speech through the use of 5 senses, and they work together with the peripheral nervous system, which also supported by the nerves through the spinal cord to the brain. These areas are very vital in brain functions. So one needs to be very careful on how to handle their spinal or the central nervous system. The differences between glial cells and neurons. Glial cells and neurons form parts of the nervous system. They work hand in hand by being a clean up brain debris. Glial cells transport nutrients to the neurons. It holds neurons in place. It digests parts of the dead neurons. It also regulates contents in space. They all work together to clear excess transmitters to ensure continuation of the function of the neurons. Structure of the neurons is on the right up. There are so many functions that helps the brain to work well. Glial cells have so many ways of helping the neurons to perform a given task too. When the glial cell damages, it affects the neurons, whereby the neurons cannot work alone. They all work together to bring or to transfer the information to the neurotransmitters to also continue in functioning. Communication of neurons and the three neurotransmitters in relation to the Claire-Rayleigh behaviors. Neurotransmitters are the chemical messengers that body cannot function without it. The main job of carrying chemical signals from one neuron cells to the next target cells. The three main neuron transmitters work through expository, inhibitory, and modulatory. With the expository, work direct through the breathing system, sleeping cycle, and digestion. And with inhibitory, these have effects on the neurons. Sometimes the chemical messenger that hindered an individual on a potential cross membrane works through the inhibitory. And most of the times it ceases its work when it does not have enough signals from the cells. In modulatory transmitters, they can affect a lot of several neurons, and at the same time they influence the effect of the chemical messenger. Each of the three has their own way of functioning in the body. Claire-Rayleigh behavior influence. In the case study, we realized that Claire-Rayleigh cannot reason for a longer period. What are the causes of that? We realized that he has infection on the nervous systems that have connection with the spinal cord, and through that the peripheral system cannot function well so that it can provide the necessary fluids to the brain to function well. Therefore, anytime he says something, within a minute, then she forgets it. Even when you ask the question and on course answering it, because of the effect that happens to the brain, due to that, he might not remember. He can easily forget about whatever is being occurred to him. Although he has short memory, but for the love that he has for the wife, maintained. That means that you need to work well with your spinal cord, your peripheral system, and nervous systems in the body. One needs to feed the brain proper things, proper foods, so that it won't be affected. Clear worry shows clearly that if you are being affected by the brain, it affects the whole life of you. You cannot do anything without the help of others. So one needs to be careful about how she treats his peripheral nervous system, central nervous system, especially your spinal cord. Your postures should be very careful. When you sit upright. When you are lying down, you should lie in the good posture in order not to affect your spinal cord and affect your brain. I hope that because Kerry Wary was a youthful musician, a great musician, she was enjoying life with his little knowledge or using the brain in music. But all the same, she had an infection of the brain and she couldn't do a lot of things. In summary, major structures of the brain and the nervous system need much attention, no matter the circumstances. One needs to identify the functions and pay much attention to oneself. Clear, wary behavioral influence do affect him very well due to improper functioning of the brain and those caused by the way she treats himself in the youthful stage. On that note, we have to learn something from this case study. Now, I believe one needs to take proper care of himself, especially the brain and the nervous system, because they have connection with total being in life. One thing that is very difficult is that one can be with people and cannot reason together with them, meaning the brain and nervous system has been affected. Take note, always try to exercise yourself, try to be in good posture, try to reason together with people who will help you to take care of your brain and nervous system. References are stated under the write-up, and bibliography is also under the write-up. Thank you. I may be available for any question you wish to ask. Thank you.